when they contact me, I'll send them my service sheet, tell them to have a look through. The prices are on there. I'm not hiding anything. It tells them exactly what I do, and the prices and how I can help them. And I say to them, look, have a look at it. And if you have any questions, come back to me. We'll have a face-to-face chat. We'll go through what you need help with, and we'll start from there. That's really important to me, that I do a face-to-face meeting with a new client.
Sure.
That way I know whether we're going to click. It's like aura, when you're talking to someone and it doesn't feel right, then you're not going to be able to work with them. It hasn't happened very often, but it has happened. I do it because I enjoy it, and if I didn't enjoy what I was doing with an author, I would have to stop. It's I want to help as many people as I can, but if an author refuses to be helped, then I can't really do much more.
So as an author assist, how did you get started with it? Where did it begin that you decided that you would help other authors do what they do? And was it one thing that you were doing at the beginning, or were you doing everything all right off the bat?
It started off with narrations by KK. I was reading my own books and getting really good feedback about my narrations. And someone told me, why don't you do narrations for other authors? And so I started advertising myself, and got a load of authors sending me excerpts. And I went through certain books with them to choose the right excerpt that I thought would make someone have to go out and buy the book. So like a real cliffhanger, a really good, exciting scene. So I have the author choose what needs narrating. We do about 5 to 7 minutes. So I make sure I read through it and make sure we got the right timing. And I love dressing up. I love wearing wigs. I love being characters. And it just grew from there on. I was good at doing certain things, and I had what can I say? I knew how to improve things. I learned about marketing and promoting my own books, and I also carried on learning. Every time something new came out, I needed to know about that. So I was doing courses and everything. And it just went on from there, and it just grew and grew and grew. It's just little old me, and I offer around about 30 different services.
Give people a sense of your day. What is your day like?
My timeline stays the same for 7 days a week. I work author assist 5 days a week. The computer goes on about 10 o'clock in the morning, week time, and it goes off I stop work about 10 o'clock at night. But because my clients are in the US, and because I suffer from severe insomnia and I don't sleep, I'm actually working 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. If anyone comes on with questions, or I need to do something, or I need to check something, then I'm online anyway, so I do it for them. If I fall asleep, it's probably around about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So I get about 2, 3 hours sleep every single day. The weekends I keep for myself because I'm an author. I was working with a publisher for over a year with one of my books. And I'm also working on a new book that I got on Wattpad at the moment. So it's a work in progress. It's a dark mafia romance, which I'm really enjoying. And I'm also trying to get my daughter, she's 10 years old, and she's just finished her second children's book. So I'm also trying to get that published for her. So the weekends are pretty busy. But the great thing about doing author assist and working by myself, or working at home, is my family's always around me. It's not like I'm going to an office and working 7 hours and coming home, doing a meal and spending 2 hours with them or whatever. They're always around me. Even though I'm working and I haven't got a lot of time for them, we're always together.
I'm curious too, with your job and the way that you're working for other authors, how much how much do you have to keep ahead of trends? How much do you have to look at what's going on in the world and what's the newest social media site and all that? How much time do you spend with that and that kind of research and figuring that out? And that has to be a key and important element of your job, right?
Well, most definitely, because I don't want to be living from 3 years ago as a marketing and promoter, because I won't be doing anything for my clients. Things
Right.
change all the time. So I make sure that I listen to what's going on around. I take courses. I can learn what's going on and what's new and what I need to know. And then that goes into my work. But while I'm researching, that's in my hours that I'm working for my client, because researching is part of helping the client.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't carry on with the trend, if I don't listen to what's working and what's not, then I'm just doing, the basics that I did 3 years ago. So yeah, it's most definite. It's a really important point to keep up with the market and know what's happening and what's new and what's trending and what's working and what's not working, and that goes into my daily work.
I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind giving us an idea of what is trending right now. What do you see out there that authors should be aware of at this moment, and that where should they be concentrating their efforts, you think?
There are so many online websites that are sending spam email to authors. I get maybe 20 every day saying that we will tweet your book so many times, and we have so many followers on Twitter, and we have 20,000 people on our Facebook pages, and blah blah blah. So I did a little experiment last month. I spent around $150. These places are like $10, $15, up to $30 to do their promotion of what they say. And I did 3 different books. They were all about 99 cents, thinking, no, they're cheap enough. People are going to go for them when they see them in these newsletters that are supposed to be delivered out. The only problem is people don't like clicking on newsletters, especially from spam. So basically, I spent $150. I got a few downloads. I got 2 refunds from 2 places that didn't work. And all of these, they just didn't work. Whether it was my book, I don't know. Whether it's the time of the year, I don't know. It didn't work. This kind of experiment helps me to make sure that I don't send my clients' books to these places, because I know it's going to be a waste of money for them. Mm-hmm. Just as I know for a fact that Facebook ads, unless you've got thousands and thousands of dollars, do not work. Stay with Amazon, as far as I'm concerned. That's another thing that you should know. There are popular ones like Bargain Booksy, Fussy Librarian, BookBub. Some of them work and some of them cost a lot of money. But these little ones are the ones that are spamming you. Stay away, stay away. People aren't clicking on newsletters anymore, especially, like I said, when it's coming from people they don't know. So I spent that money and I didn't make any profit. But I did get 2 refunds. One that I asked for, because I did 2 promos with the same person, and the first one didn't give me 1 download. So without telling them why, I just said, can I cancel and get a refund for this promo that was happening the following week? And he gave me my money back, which is really good. And then the second one, which I will give the name out, Bargain Booksy, they contacted me and they asked me how I did. And I thought that was amazing to get an email off someone like that to actually ask if you got any downloads. And I told them that, no, I got 8 downloads. And they actually tracked back and saw how many clicks my book got. And they come back to me and they said, yeah, we tracked your book, and it was really down for what it should have been, and we'd like to refund you your full money. And I was really surprised. And but Bargain Booksy, I know it works with many, many people, so I give a thumbs up to that place. And just be careful for the ones that are spamming you. Don't waste your money on those. BookBub, there's two different ways of advertising with BookBub. There's the one with their newsletter, which costs from $250 up to maybe $1,500 to advertise in their newsletter. Depending on the genre of your book, the price goes up. And the funny thing about this is, even though they're charging a fortune, everyone is queuing up to do this advertisement with BookBub. And many authors are being turned away for simple reasons. Their cover's not good, or their blurb doesn't work, or they haven't got enough reviews. BookBub will say, no, I'm sorry, try again later. And they do keep trying, but it does cost a lot of money for a BookBub ad. The other one that BookBub is doing is with the partner dashboard. And basically, it's a small square advert of your book with very little graphics, just a nice cover and a little bit of graphics, so you can put like a tagline or something. And that is shown to all the readers on that BookBub website that like your kind of book, and that what authors you write like. When you're doing the advert, it will ask you to name all the authors that write similar to you. The more you have down, the better. And then it will ask you what are the books are similar to what you write. And so your advert is then shown only to those people that like that author or like that book. I could have a budget of $30 for a week and only spend $2 in the end. So it can make a sale, and it has made a sale, but it's really cheap to do. And it's just another way of getting your book out there. A lot of money that you spend on promoting, but a lot of it is for people to know who you are and to recognize your logo, your branding, to recognize the cover of your book, to maybe click on it, read the blurb, read the reviews, and hopefully make a sale.
Is it like with Facebook ads and Amazon ads and BookBub ads? Is it a matter of SEO that really, or is it just a matter of being in the right place at the right time with those kind of things?
SEO and hashtags are the gold for authors if they know how to use them correctly. That's the way people find your book. That's the way people find out about you. Using hashtags in every post on every social media platform that you go on, everything you post, use hashtags. Make sure you use the correct hashtag. Many are banned, and you can actually go onto Google and type out banned hashtags, and it will give you a list of ridiculous words that you wouldn't think would be banned, but they are. So if you use one of those words, your tweet doesn't get sent out or your post doesn't get seen. So it's good to keep up, because that changes every week.
I'm curious, when you look at a client, when you take on a client, how often is looking at their blurb and helping them kind of, manage that a little bit? Is that part of your service? Do you kind of give them some advice if you feel like their blurb's not up to par? And also about reviews, is that something that you work on too with them? How to get them, how to push them forward, and or do you take on a client with only a certain amount of reviews?
I'll take on any single client that helps, as long as we have that rapport. For part of the marketing, I want to work with a new client for a full month, and I want to start right at the beginning with them. And I go through everything, like you've just said, about their books, their blurbs, about every single social media platform, if it's working, if they're doing things right. I will look at all of that, and then I will get into them face-to-face on camera and go through every step with them, tell them what needs changing, what they need to do. And of course, they can listen to me if they want and do the work, or they can ask me to do the work. But what happens when you're doing that full month of marketing and promotional management is trust, because I need to get their passwords to be able to go in and work on what needs working on. changing their genres on Amazon, on KDP, finding the hidden categories to make sure their book goes up the charts, making their blurb tidier, making it prettier because you can bold it now, you can have different fonts now. So there's so much that I can do, but I need to have access to their password. Of course, they can change that any time after. And I need to trust them that they're going to listen to me and hopefully do what I have asked them to do and understand why I've asked them to do what they, so trust is really a big thing for me for working with the client and doing that full-time month and going from the beginning right through to the end and then having that chat with them. And it's really important for me with a new client to do that. Otherwise, it's a pick and mix. I would like to do an advert on the radio. I'd like to go on your show. I'd like you to do me a book trailer. Can you do a narration for this? I need a graphic. I have a sale coming up. Can you promote my book for the weekend? So it works like that. So I either have full-time clients, part-time clients, or I have the clients that pick and mix.
With this being a numbers game, is it really low risk, high reward that you aim for, or is it volume and consistency?
I tell my clients straight away that there's no guarantee of sales. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's so depressing for me when I'm working and I don't see the line go up for their books. It doesn't mean I'm not doing my job because I am. It just means the book isn't selling at that time. But my job is to get their name and their book out there. So I will go to as many social media platforms, myself and theirs. I will contact as many websites and newsletters as I can, get their book in the newsletters, get their books on these websites, free of course. Any of them that charge, that's up to the client if they want to pay extra. Most of them I do on the free ones. I will promote their book on Facebook, not as buy my book, because those posts do not work. Right. I will use inserts, I will use fancy teasers, I will use narrations, I will use book trailers. Any method that isn't out there can work because it's something different. We've got to, there's so much competition out there that you've got to think out of the box. You've got to come up with some new marketing technique that you're going to try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, at least you've tried. And not follow the herd with buy my book, here's my beautiful cover, 99 cents, buy my book, or download it for free, whatever. When I promote my clients, I like to have the potential reader actually read something. I want them to know that my client can actually write a book, can actually write. And they don't just get a style of whether they can write or not, they get a style of the story. The same with narration and book trailers. They give a more insight into the book, into the characters. And it's exciting, I think, for people to see posts like that rather than the simple cover by my book post. It's getting much, much harder to get clicks now on any social media platform for any book. And so the more imagination you can have to get that book out there and get people to notice it, then the more chance you have of that click. Yeah.
What is your opinion about going wide?
I've done both. I have one book now on Kindle Unlimited because it's my longest book, and I know that if people read it, my page reads are going to go up and I'll get paid for that rather than a smaller book. So I've kept that on KU. All my other books are on draft digital, which then go to Barnes & Noble, iBooks, Kobo, and another 10 little places around the web. The problem is that Amazon have the marketplace. There's no saying that Barnes & Noble are ever going to take over Amazon. People trust Amazon. People buy from Amazon and they trust them. And when they see a link for Amazon, they'll click on it. When they see a link for iBooks, unless they're a regular buyer for Apple, then you've got less chance of them clicking on it. I think with Draft to Digital is fantastic because they give you this one link, and this one link takes you to a page where it shows all the different places that they can buy this book. I like giving my readers the choice. I like my clients giving them the choice. Kindle Unlimited is great because you can give your book free for 5 days in that rotation of the 90 days that you're on Select. I only do that now and again. I don't like giving my book for free. I don't like authors giving their book for free. They've worked their asses off doing this. It's a lot of work. People don't realize how much energy goes into writing a book and then trying to promote it and market it as well. Why to give it for free? Unless, of course, it's the start of a series and you're giving that book free so people can read it. And if they love it, they're going to go out and buy book 2 and so on. That's a good way. That's a good marketing strategy. That's a good way of getting sales. A single book being free doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to go out and have a look at your other books, unfortunately.
What doing these things for people and being this author assistant that you are has done for your writing and your creativity, does it help you a lot?
I don't have to. I've got 13 books published and I don't have time to promote my own work. I wish I could say they sell by themselves. Now and again I get a sale and I'm like, oh, where did that come from? I love doing these virtual events on Facebook when you can talk with a potential reader and show them more about your book, and they can actually talk with you. You're an author, they're really excited to meet you. I can guarantee I'll get a sale from that. Cross promotion is the number one, in my opinion, the number one way of getting sales. And how you do this is through author newsletters. I know every author has a newsletter, and I know from being a subscriber myself how many come through my email box every day. And so, of course, you've got to make your subject matter, make them click on that, make yours so different, your subject so different from your newsletter that it makes them click, because they're getting 10, 20 other newsletters. You've got to stand out, first of all, for that. When you cross-promote with another author, I have, say, 2,000 subscribers on my newsletter. Now, this author has 1,500. Now, we're going to swap books. I'm going to promote her book in my newsletter. She's going to promote my book in her newsletter to her 1,500 subscribers. And when you do that with one book, you've got a chance of not 1,500, maybe 300 people from her seeing this newsletter. But you're going to cross-promote with 4 to 5 other authors. You're going to have 4 to 5 featured books in your newsletter for people, your readers, to have a look at, very similar to the genre that you write in, so you know they're going to be interested. And the book that you've given to the other people, again, is going to be in the same genre. So you now have a chance of up to 20,000 people seeing your book in these newsletters if they're clicked on. I know from my newsletters, guaranteed I'll always get a sale from cross promotion. Always. That's the number one way of getting sales, but also for people to see your book, to recognize your cover, to read the blurb, click on it. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything. That's the best thing about this, that it works and it's free. And yet authors either don't cross promote, or they don't know how to do it properly, or they don't have a newsletter, which is, I know that every author has a newsletter and they don't want to have one themselves because they don't think they're going to get subscribers, they don't think they're going to get clicked on. Please, every author need a newsletter. It's not about just cross promotion, it's about promoting yourself, letting your subscribers know more about you. Put an excerpt from one of your books so they get to read to make sure that you can write and see your style of writing. Put pictures up of characters from your books so they get to more information about you and your books. Your newsletter gives them updates about what you're working on next and links to all your social media. It's so important to have a newsletter, and there are some fantastic places online that will help you find an author to cross-promote with like that. So easy. Art of the Arcane, who works with BookFunnel and who also does monthly promotions for 4 or 5 days with your book. It's either 99 cents. They go with a certain genre. So if you write thriller, you can do that promotion with them. If you do sci-fi, that promotion's on a different date, you can do it with them. Fantastic working with the Art of the Arcane. And then there's also StoryOrigin, which is amazing. And that place is just growing, and they're extending and giving more and more things for the author. They're doing reviews, they're doing reader magnets, as well as you're able to cross-promote and pick your own author to cross-promote with. You can see their book, you can see how many reviews they've had on it, you can see what their newsletter is about before you say, yes, I would like to cross-promote with you, and you push that button. It gives you a chance for you to choose who you want to cross-promote with. There are so many places out there that will help an author to cross-promote for their newsletters, and I think that's really important that people know about that.
Your radio show is kind of an extension of what you do in that you interview authors, but you kind of go, I mean, I've been on it and I know how you operate, and you kind of go through the process with them too, and kind of give everybody a little insight about that. So talk about how you started your radio show and what you've been doing, and how has that evolved over time as well?
Well, it started off with me being a guest on Artistsfirst radio network. I was a guest author, and me and Z-Man, who's actually station manager for the station, we were just chatting about a bit of everything. And he said at the end of the show, he says, have you ever thought about having your own show? Because I think you'll be a brilliant host. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, he's offering me my own radio show. I was totally shocked. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. So we started off small, inviting people. Unfortunately, I have to charge for people to come on the show because I don't actually get to do this for free. They charge me airfare for airplay, which I understand because it is a independent radio network. It's not owned by the government. Mm-hmm. So I do understand that. So sometimes it's hard to find guests who are willing to pay up. But it's been going for 3 years now. And I've had best-selling authors. I've had New York Times bestsellers. I've had TV presenters, famous radio and TV presenters, journalists. So it's really good. And it's been such a pleasure chatting to all these authors. And we talk about their books and we talk about their life. And I enjoyed it so much. I thought I would love to do a face-to-face with authors, because I feel that it's more intimate, and you can talk more with them. With the radio show, it's scripted because I have to research all my guests and make sure I know about their books. Of course, I don't have time to read them. So I do all my research and make sure I know what I'm talking about, and I ask the right questions. Whereas with Behind the Pen, which is my YouTube podcast show, I didn't want to know anything at all about each of my guests, just their name. And so I never researched. I don't know what books they did, nothing. So we started, first question I asked them for, how did it all start? Why did you become a writer? We start right from the beginning, and then we talk through how this author progressed into where they are now. But I love doing both of them.
If people want to come and use your services, first off, are you taking on new clients? And if you are, where can they contact you, and how do they get in touch with you to do that?
Yeah, at the moment, with what's been going on, people out of work and not having money, it's difficult for people to be able to pay for services. But I am available, and I will send a service sheet to anyone who wants to have a look at my prices. They are extremely low. I've been told off so many times that I'm not charging enough for what I do. You can read testimonials from my previous clients and my clients that are with me now, telling you that you will not go wrong by hiring me. I do my job, and I work really, really hard for my clients.